So welcome everybody. Happy Sunday. We're going to begin today. I'm going to offer you at the studio we recently being yesterday, we started a 40-day sadhana. We do one every fall as kind of a exercise for our teachers in training, but also as a way for the community to come, together into one energy. So I'm going to offer you the practice that we have been doing. So we'll do that for a few minutes and then we'll go into some other stuff. So if you are already doing the sadhana and you're like, I already did this morning, you're going to do it again. It's good for you. So start to find first your comfortable seat, which maybe means, again, if you haven't moved very much today, is move a little bit. Do some cat-cow, circle your pelvis, because the energy that we're working with for these 40 days is the Adi Shakti, right? And Shakti is that energy that flows. It's the energy that moves, that transforms, that becomes and unbecomes. Good. It's that same energy that we say that in us is concentrated as the kundalini, right? That sits at the base of your spine coiled. And so the practices are to make an environment where that energy can actually flow without obstruction, where it can actually rise, right, into our sense of mind consciousness. So it goes from the subtle consciousness to the mind consciousness. Good. And then once you feel that you have moved your spine enough, start to find your steady seat. Good. And then the arm position is arms up at heart level, and it's left hand over top of right with a little space between them and held just right at the heart. So the shoulders have to stay nice and level. Good. A little space between. And then I will do the mantra with you. Hang on. That's not what I want. I want this. Okay. So if you know the mantra, you can repeat it with me. If not, you can just listen the first time or two and then jump in either out loud or internally as you wish. So eyes closed. Feel the breath for a moment. Exhale. Release the mind from wherever it is currently caught. Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Namo Namo. Set up Shakti, set up Shakti, set up Shakti, Namo Namo. Pritam Bhagavati, Pritam Bhagavati, Pritam Bhagavati, Namo Namo. Kundalini Mata Shakti, Mata Shakti, Namo Namo. Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Namo Namo. Set up Shakti, set up Shakti, set up Shakti, Namo Namo. Pritam Bhagavati, Pritam Bhagavati, Pritam Bhagavati, Namo Namo. Kundalini Mata Shakti, Mata Shakti, Namo Namo. Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Namo Namo. Set up Shakti, set up Shakti, set up Shakti, Namo Namo. Pritam Bhagavati, Pritam Bhagavati, Pritam Bhagavati, Namo Namo. Kundalini Mata Shakti, Mata Shakti, Namo Namo. Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Namo Namo. Set up Shakti, set up Shakti, set up Shakti, Namo Namo. Pritam Bhagavati, Pritam Bhagavati, Pritam Bhagavati, Namo Namo. Kundalini Mata Shakti, Mata Shakti, Namo Namo. Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Namo Namo. Serap Shakti, Serap Shakti, Serap Shakti, Namo Namo. Pritam Bhagwati, Pritam Bhagwati, Pritam Bhagwati, Namo Namo. Kundalini Mata Shakti, Mata Shakti, Namo Namo. Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Namo Namo. Serap Shakti, Serap Shakti, Serap Shakti, Namo Namo. Pritam Bhagwati, Pritam Bhagwati, Pritam Bhagwati, Namo Namo. Kundalini Mata Shakti, Mata Shakti, Namo Namo. Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Namo Namo. Serap Shakti, Serap Shakti, Serap Shakti, Namo Namo. Pritam Bhagwati, Pritam Bhagwati, Pritam Bhagwati, Namo Namo. Kundalini Mata Shakti, Mata Shakti, Namo Namo. Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Namo Namo. Serap Shakti, Serap Shakti, Serap Shakti, Namo Namo. Pritam Bhagwati, Pritam Bhagwati, Pritam Bhagwati, Namo Namo. Kundalini Mata Shakti, Mata Shakti, Namo Namo. Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Namo Namo. Serap Shakti, Serap Shakti, Serap Shakti, Namo Namo. Pritam Bhagwati, Pritam Bhagwati, Pritam Bhagwati, Namo Namo. Kundalini Mata Shakti, Mata Shakti, Namo Namo. Deep breath in. Hold the breath at the top, squeeze and lift the pelvic floor, draw the low navel in and up under the ribs, draw your throat back, pull through the crown of your head. And then exhale, release the breath, release the holding, release the hands. The hands rest on the knees or the thighs. Feel for a moment. Namo means I bow. So it's placing whatever the mind is usually focused on, it's placing it into that energy that is Shakti. The power of being embodied, the power of transformation, the power to recreate, rebuild. You feel that that power, that energy is something that runs through you. It's what energizes every cell. So with the awareness down at the base of your spine, you can imagine that there is a snake that is coiled around your lower back. Or even if that image doesn't serve, that maybe there is a pool of energy, like water, that is resting in the pelvis. As you begin to breathe, as you inhale, that energy rises up like a fountain through the spine, all the way up to the crown of the head. And exhaling, you're aware of that flow of energy flowing back down into that reservoir at the base of the spine. As you inhale, there's that feeling of energy rising from the pelvis up to the crown of the head. And the exhale is as though you are scanning back that path that the energy has already taken, and going up and down to a well to gather more water. Every breath, that energy is rising from the base of the spine up to the crown of the head. If you like that image of the coiled snake, it's the snake that slowly starts to wind its way through the spine. It's reaching to make that full connection of the base of your spine to the highest consciousness that lives in you. Do you feel that energy that is rising, that is reaching? It's rising to that place where it feels completion. That place of unity is said to be our third eye, our crown. So every breath, the energy is rising from the base of the spine, like that fountain of energy that simply fills and fills and fills and fills. And every breath, you touch that place that is already complete. So every breath, you are rising into that feeling of wholeness. Experience of wholeness is rising into your awareness. Whatever else is present in the mind or the body, you wrap it into that experience of whole. Absorb it into that feeling of whole. Breathing that energy, feeling it flowing up from the base of your spine all the way up to the crown of the head, touching that place of completion. And whatever the mind would put in the way of that feeling of wholeness, you bow, you place it inside that wholeness. You absorb it into that wholeness. Whatever your mind wants to use to continue to hold you separate, for a moment, you offer that back to that energy that is rising. You can always go back to your separation. So I bow, I place myself within, I place myself inside. The energy that is rising into wholeness, rising into completion. And maybe I even feel that that energy as it rises is maybe it dissolves or takes away whatever there is that felt like it was an obstacle. Maybe you begin to feel that that energy as it rises and it rises starts to even dissolve your sense of the edges of your skin. And that's fine, you'll come back. So the breath rises, the energy rises from that reservoir at the base of the spine, all the way up to touch that place of completion. Bring your awareness to the space of your third eye between the eyebrows and set back to the center of the head. as though you can feel that thread of the energy rising from this point at the third eye all the way down to the base of your spine. So you hold the awareness of both places, the third eye and the base of the spine. You feel the breath as it flows between them. You feel the energy that is Shakti, that coiled energy that is always rising. You feel it move between those points. And then a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Release that visualization of those points. Let yourself start to gently move your spine again. Side to side, spirals, cat-cow. And then come back to stillness, changing your seat in any way that you need to, if you need to. And then I'm giving you a little bit of a different mantra to work with. Sadhana. If you need to open your eyes, you can. What this is going to look like is hands are going to rest on the knees or the thighs, but as you repeat the mantra, we're going to start repeating it out loud, and then we're going to go into a whisper. We're going to go into silence. You'll repeat it silently, and then we'll come back into the whisper, back to out loud. Okay? But it looks like this. As you say Satanama, you're touching thumb and first finger. Sa-ta-na-ma. And then you repeat Sa-ta-na-ma. So thumb and first finger, thumb and middle finger, thumb and ring finger, thumb and pinky. Right? So this mantra is taking us through the cycle, right, of creation, from creation to sustaining to dissolving to that state that is beyond any one piece of the cycle, right? So it's living and it's dying. And we're going through that over and over and over. So this is that Shakti energy that is constantly transforming, constantly renewing, constantly recreating. So it is all of this as well as what is beyond that. Yeah? So find your comfortable seat again. Eyes can be open or closed, your choice. Let the hands rest on the knees or the thighs. They don't have to be held up. And again, we're going to start. So repeat it out loud to yourself, and then we'll go into a whisper, we'll go into silence, and we'll come back out, okay? So again, find your seat, find your breath, and then begin to repeat. Sa, ta, na, ma. 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 Whisper. Sa, ta, na, ma. 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 Sa, ta, Repeat silently, continuing to touch the fingers together with each sound. Touching each experience equally. Creation, sustaining, dissolving, rebirth. And as you move from one to the other, touching each one equally, begin to feel that as they bleed into each other, they move into each other. They're not separate. They are bringing you into awareness of whole. Keep repeating. Begin to whisper again. Sa, ta, na, ma. 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 Out loud. Sa, ta, na, ma. 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 Finish your next round. Ta, na, ma. And then release the mantra intuitively without thinking about it too much. Touch the thumb to the fingertip that feels the most appropriate. And hold that mudra. Letting the mantra go, just feel yourself as an energy circuit. The mind is a powerful place, and when we ask it to run in specific patterns, that power becomes focused instead of dispersed. And we bring our awareness to each aspect of our existence. We let ourselves feel it equally. We start to comprehend wholeness that doesn't exclude any of those aspects and is not confined by any one or two of those aspects. You feel simply that the energy is moving. You are part of that energy flow, and that is what it means to be whole. We are asking to reclaim or to become aware of that experience on a conscious level. So your mind can rest in this state of knowing that it is part of a flow, it is part of whole. And it has the ability to reflect that wholeness. The movement of the mind is not a problem, but it's a power that if we don't direct it, it simply disperses. Release your mudra, whatever it is. Become aware again of the seat on which you are sitting. Bringing the hands together in front of the heart center, palm to palm. Again, you feel yourself as an energy circuit that flows from hand to hand, through the heart, through the spine, through your mind, and out into the world you radiate. So imagine that for a moment, that from where you sit, that energy that you feel flowing, that you have felt flowing, feel it radiate. And allow it to go so large that that energy of creation and recreation and rebirth radiates to expand, to hold the entire world. And even beyond that, the entire universe. And it's effortless, it just expands. And you are perhaps sitting at the center of it, but it's expanding, touching everything. And release that image, dropping the chin towards your chest. An acknowledgement to your own effort, your own willingness to be with your own inner self, your own mind, and to explore what you really are, who you really are. And slide those thumbs to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. You have to unmute yourselves to talk to me. Let me know how that went. Or don't, you can always just leave.
It was very beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's great.
And so if you are interested in joining in on the 40-day sadhana that we're doing, that Adi Shakti, you can do it straight from what we just did. If you do go on to Naturally Yoga's website, not the website, sorry, the Facebook page, there is the recording of how we did the sadhana on Saturday morning. And of course, Josh singing is much prettier than me. So you can find other versions of the Adi Shakti mantra if you'd like. But that's the practice that we're doing. So if you want to join in, please do that. Otherwise, just continue to sit, continue to meditate.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You can do the satanama as a walking meditation too while you're out in the world and you feel like your mind's a little crazy. Satanama, while you're doing whatever. If you're doing it loud enough, people might think you're a little,
Okay.
that's okay.
Okay. Thank you, V.
You're welcome. Have a good one, you guys. I can't hear you, Hetty. You're muted and you're far away.
I am?
Heidi, I can hear you. Hetty, I can't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.